Paul, obviously not ideal on Tuesday, but how's the rest of the week been?
Yeah, Tuesday was a real frustration. We got a bit of a lift from the way that we performed, particularly first half against Portsmouth. We travelled down to Burton on the Monday because we had it planned to have. We had a session with Mark Francis on the Monday night has been planned since about November, December time. I felt that was really positive, where we actually got the players to speak and to talk about what their intent is and how they want to go about it. And I felt the preparation from training and from that was really good going into Tuesday night. Now, listen, there's no guarantee that would have brought us a result. But I was really pleased with all the things together, with the first half against Pompey, the way we went about the game, the way we kept pushing towards the end, then the training, then the performance coach session. I was just hopeful that we were going to kickstart things. And then to get the game called off so late was a real disappointment. But we've just got to get on with it now. With preparation started straight away for the Cambridge game. And that's the next one we can do something about. And that's what we've just got to be thinking about.
Mark obviously has done a lot of work with the lads before. Just another case of getting a different voice in and doing something different.
Yeah, I think it's obviously a different voice, but it's somebody who's an expert in that field as well, in trying to improve performance. And it's more about being able to facilitate a conversation with them, that they open up and they speak. And I think that's the difference when you've got somebody who's an expert in doing that they're better at doing it, and he gets them talking, he gets them thinking, he gets them trying to change the way they go about it, and it's worked in the past. We've had some good effect from it when we've used him in the past, and we will use him again. I'll continue to use him. It's just unfortunate that we only have sort of a few occasions each season that we are able to use him. But listen, that's not the reason that we've struggled this season, because we haven't had him every week. It wouldn't be the reason why we're winning games if we start to win. It's because the players have done something about it. I've said it all along. I know I'm responsible as the manager for what goes on here. But when we were winning games, it was me saying that it was the players who were going and doing the job. And at this moment in time, it's the players who are not doing the jobs. We will keep trying to lift them, keep trying to set them upright. And obviously we've made mistakes as staff as well. But we keep going. This is the next one we've got to do something about. We know this season hasn't been anywhere near good enough. To be sitting here after 31 games with 4 wins, that's not good enough. We're now going to the last 15 and we know we need to win a minimum of half of those games. We have to give ourselves a chance. So I'm not deluded enough to think it's going to be plain sailing. This is going to be a tough ask, but it's still possible. We still have enough games, there's still enough points to play for. I still believe. I think the players believed it going into Tuesday night's game, and that's going to have to be played at another date later in the season. But we're ready now for Cambridge, and we've just got to go and make sure as a group we go and perform and hopefully get a result that gets us going.
Gap went up to 12 points on Tuesday night after Charlton got a point, but it's still a case of us needing to do what we need to do first, isn't it?
Do you know something? It's irrelevant, the league table and the points difference, because we know that we have to win a load of games. It's as simple as that. So regardless of what happens, mathematically, it's still very, very possible for us to stay up. And regardless of what else goes on in the country, we can't do anything about that. We can only affect our own games. And the next one being Cambridge at home, we have to get into a situation where we're looking at 3 points. If we don't, again, there's no point looking at the league table. We've just got to start to do our own job right, because the truth is we haven't done so far.
Jack Diamond was in the squad on Tuesday, so he obviously got over his knock. How are the other injuries coming on?
Yeah, it's not great at the moment. We've got some poor news, some bad news. Terry Ablade has torn his thigh, his other thigh, so he's probably out for the season now. We're looking at a 12-week injury, that one. JJ is still getting discomfort. When we work through the return to training and return to play protocol, he gets to a certain point and then we get him back out on the grass and he's still getting discomfort in his calf. So he's had to be stepped back a little bit. Georgie Kelly was at the point where he was starting to get back out on the grass. In fact, he went out on the grass a day later than normal, than what we wanted because of the weather, and the pitch was flooded. So he did an extra day on a treadmill. The next day he went out on the grass and he felt discomfort in the calf again. So we've had that scanned and we're looking at a 6-7 week injury for Georgie Kelly. So that's horrendous news for us all. Then we've got Jokel Anderson still out. Sean Maguire has had some discomfort in the ankle area, so we had an injection put into it early this week. He's still got some discomfort in it. We'll hopefully be okay for the weekend, but we're not certain at the moment. So Josh Emmanuel, who was ill last week, has had a bit of discomfort in the hamstring again. So we're hoping he's going to return to full training again on Friday. So as is normal, when you're struggling and you're at the bottom of the table, you get these things going on. So there's been a lot of frustrating things that have happened this week that won't affect Saturday's game. They won't be able to help us on Saturday. So we've just got to try and get them back as soon as we can.
Cambridge on Saturday, hoping for a similar performance to Portsmouth, but with more in the final third? Yeah,
I want a better performance. I think we've got to. We have to expect a better performance. I thought first half, we did the first two sections of the pitch. I split it into thirds, and I thought the first 2 thirds we did okay. The build and the create sections, I thought we did well. The finish we didn't do very well. So we have to make it 3 out of 3. We've got to get all areas right. We've got to make sure that we stay positive, we create opportunities, but we try and get a finish to it. And I think if we do that, we'll give ourselves a real lift, we'll give ourselves a chance, and hopefully give the fans a lift as well.
Cambridge are at Portsmouth on Tuesday, and then they've obviously got the triple P, whereas we should be fresh. Will that help us?
Who knows? It's only fresh if we go in the right way with it. If we don't, then we're going to give ourselves problems. It's again, all of those things are irrelevant. It's how we go about it. It's how the players start this game, whether they go into it with a bravery and a real intent to go and win the game. And we have to, we've got to go and work to get the first goal. We then have to stay front foot and try and get a second goal and make sure we finish it off. So all of the things, whether Cambridge have had a long journey, whether they had a game Tuesday, the fact we didn't have a game, we still had the journey, but no game, so we haven't got that physical demand on them. We've just got to be right. It's as simple as that. And I keep saying it week in, week out. And I was going to say I'm fed up of saying it, but I'm not, because I want to keep saying it. We have to get results. We've got to start winning games, and the players have got to go with that belief that we've got the ability to do it and start showing it.
What kind of game do you expect from Cambridge?
It'll be a tough game. I think any side that Neil Harris puts out have always got a bit of fire in the belly. They'll be well organised. They'll come and they play quite direct up to Lyle Taylor, who's been a real good striker. They've got wide players in Kai and Brophy, and forwards like Lancaster who are good players. Experience at the back with Morrison and Bennett. It's going to be a tough game, but these are the games that we have to believe we've got a chance. We've got a little run of games coming against teams in and around us, obviously all above us, that we've got to be looking at trying to nip them back to us. Just try and get our job done right. Try and get our 3 points in the bag and see what it does.